and welcome to another video here on my channel. So today I'm going to be looking through my art folder where I keep all my arty bits and pieces and artwork. However, before we jump into that, I want to talk about something that I've been noticing in my comments is about sound. So I've recently got a new microphone and I'm still playing around with the settings to try and get it right. So does this sound better to you? Or does this one sound better to you? So that's option 1 or option 2. I'd be really grateful if you could just let me know down in the comments which is better. I do try and speak as loudly as I can, but I am quite a quiet speaking person in general. So onto the video. I'm going to continue using option 1 for the rest of this video. I believe previous videos have been using option 2. So I'm flicking through my art folder. This is because this month of March it is my channel anniversary, so I thought it'd be interesting to see what I have accomplished in the few years that I got back into watercolour painting. So I just got a black folder here. I think it cost a couple of pounds from a stationery shop. Pretty inexpensive. It has a clip-in ring binder, so I just slot everything into clear plastic wallets so that I can store it easily and I can move it around if I feel the need to and rearrange it how I feel works. So right at the front here I have a few bits of paper that don't really fit into the wallet. This here in the envelope is the Schminker and Daniel Smith dot cards, which I did a video on where I swatched out all the colours and gave my honest thoughts and opinions in real time as I was swatching. If you would like to see that video, then please check out the iCards above. I will link them up there. The dot sheet of the Daniel Smith contains 66 colours and the Schminker Horadam is 140 colours, which is their complete range. This piece here is a painting that I'm incredibly proud of. It's of Professor Snape from Harry Potter and I really am proud of it. It's a portrait that I'm quite pleased with because it turned out in a way how I wanted it to. There's no major mistakes or anything in it, so I was pretty happy when it turned out right. And this one here is a landscape. I actually did this from a tutorial book, and I will sort of mention this when I review the book later on in the year. I'm not sure how I feel about the piece in general. It looks okay looking at it in the video actually, maybe because it's a bit more of a step back view rather than up close. And here is a sketch the painting that I'm currently working on. You may have seen pictures of me painting it on my Instagram page. Now this one here is a very dangerous book. It is the Jackson's catalogues and the watercolour catalogue as well. I am a big lover of art supplies, if you don't already know by looking at a few of my videos here on YouTube. While it's nice to see it all online, it's really nice to see it all in paper form. You can have a nice flick through it while watching television or just while you're sat at home. You have to get a laptop out or a computer. It's quite a nice way to view it. So next up is another favourite catalogue of mine, and that is the Old Holland Classic Watercolour leaflet or brochure, and it shows all of the Old Holland watercolour range. It still has the old manganese blue in it, and not the manganese blue extra, but it's really nice to see a colour chart, a printed colour chart, rather than just looking online, as online people's screen resolutions can vary and can have an impact on the colour. It's quite nice having everything all tucked into plastic wallets, makes everything nice and easy. Now this one here is the Schminke Horodam Aquarelle, and that is an excellent brochure. It's one of the best, in fact it is the best that I have come across. It shows everything about their Horodam watercolour range, has their 140 colours, all in detail, not just a swatch and the name, but it also has a pigment, and it also has some information about those pigments and the actual paint itself, both in German and English. This is a watercolour fanatics must-have, it really is. It also contains most of their watercolour palettes. If you don't know by now, Schminke has quite a selection of watercolour palettes available. This pamphlet does not include the £600 mechanical rotating watercolour palette which they've recently brought out. It's only for serious watercolour addicts, and I would never consider getting anything like it. So next up in the folder we have some colour swatches of different brands that I have. I've organised it by brands, so one sheet of paper will have one brand and so on and so forth. So this one here is the Sennelier. Before that you saw the Daler Rowney Simply line, and the Sennelier one is one that I used in a review and is of this set here that I'm showing. So this is the Lucas and the White Knight colour charts. They're just small colour charts, and the Lucas one is actually in German. I had to translate it all on Google. And there on the right you can see a colour chart. I think it's the Old Holland watercolour chart. That's all the colours I have from Old Holland. I have actually filled the page up. And there's a colour wheel painted with some primaries from the Old Holland range. And that one there is, I believe, a cheap set, like a dollar store set. I think it's the Artist Loft range. And there is some handmade swatches and some experimentation I did with some handmade watercolours. And that's the Lucas swatch card. I purchased 6 colours. There will be a review of the paint brand when I get around to it. And this one here is the comparison of yellow ochre colours. I did a video on this and you can check that out as well in the iCards. Next we just have a few pages of random swatches of colours that I have purchased. And as well my papers from my paper testing comparison video, where I tested loads of brands of different watercolour papers. And on the back of one is the colour mixing exercise which I did. And that one there, I believe it was the Rembrandt and Royal Talens swatch, and that's a colour wheel of some primaries that I painted. And that one on the right is Windsor and Newton range, the artist range. And that one there is the Schminke range. I have a few Schminke colours and that's the swatch of it. I will also review those watercolours as well in the future. I have quite a lot of reviews to get through, and I want to make sure each watercolour brand has the appropriate detail and attention that I can give it. and that one is the Cotman range on the left. I did a video of this for my beginner's watercolour supply tutorial and your first painting that you should do when you get a new set of watercolours. And here we have some very special paints on show from Eve Bold, the Prush range. I really love the Prush range and they're very special to me. And on the reverse there we have a swatch card. This is a swatch card from the very first palette that I've ever used, and there is a video of that on my channel as well. And that there is a postcard, original painting by Eve that I purchased from her Etsy store. So next up we have an equally special range of paints. This is the EEM Eventually Everything Mixes line. They are vegan watercolours from Germany and I'm in love with them. They are an amazing brand and I have quite a lot that I've collected. They are very different watercolours. I did do a review of them on this channel if you wanted to check that out. And here is an original painting by Ame, the creator behind EEM, and with every Flush paint that she ships out a specially painted picture of her cat that the paints are based on, Flush. So I keep it wrapped and I keep it very safe. Once I get my own sort of studio, I will definitely be framing this and putting it up on the wall or on the side somewhere, as it's just, I really like it. It's original artwork and it's got so much value to it. So there we have some more paper testing, including more in-depth testing of the Moulin de Roy paper and all the different brands of offcuts that I have and test sheets, including my notes, my messy handwriting. And then there on the right is the vintage watercolours from Windsor Newton, which I did a video on as well. You can check all these videos out over on my channel. And if you don't wish to miss a future video, make sure you subscribe. And here is a swatching out of the first palette arrangement that I had when I moved on to artist grade watercolours. So now onto some artwork. The first two here are artist studies. The one on the left is a study of one I found on DeviantArt, so it's not originally mine, it's a study. And on the right you may recognise is a study of an Iraville painting. So here we have my swatches of all the paint colours in my brand, and another painting I did of a ginger tomcat from the film A Street Cat Named Bob. It's based on a true story, so make sure you go look the film up. It's an excellent watch. And then the penguin piece is the first ever video that I uploaded here on YouTube. It seems such a long time ago, but it was only a year. And here are a few more pieces I've done either while reviewing brands or just general painting. That roses there, they are from a tutorial book, and I will be showing more on that as well in the future. So I have a few more paintings here. You may or may not have seen these. Some are from Instagram, some are from YouTube. If you would like to check out some more of my images, some work in progress, and some other behind the scenes in bits and pieces, do check that out. My handle is @penholderartuk. I am the same on Twitter as well. And here is a study page that I did of some leaves. Study pages are great for just trying out little elements that could one day end up being part of a painting. Now at the end of the folder I have all my sketches and some paintings that didn't quite turn out right, or some that are unfinished. And then right at the very back, as you will see, there are some alcohol marker sort of bits and pieces, so the colour chart and one or two bits of artwork. I don't do a lot of work with alcohol markers. They are literally for me when I'm bored and want a change up. They're quite different from watercolour to work with. And there are some blending families. All of the blending families and the colour chart can be found on my DeviantArt page if you wanted to check that out if you're thinking about getting into Touch 5 markers. They are a cheap alternative to Copics. So now I have some bits of artwork that I've either not finished or I've yet to scan them into my computer. I scan all my images in, so I've got a digital file, and so I can also correct any small mistakes like marks or blemishes or accidental paint splatters. So this one here is an artist study that didn't quite go right. I think I might have been using the wrong side of the paper, as none of the painting really seemed to work. It felt very weird to paint on, not like normal. This illustration seen here is actually based off a sketch I did of some buildings in the Netherlands when I went on vacation, and I based this illustration off of that, so it's just sort of a little bit of a play and experiment, and it was for a bit of fun. So this piece here is part of my colour series that I'm doing here on YouTube, where I look at old and discontinued paint. And on the back is a colour swatch from my first watercolour palette, which can be seen in a video as well. This one is a botanical piece of an orchid that sat on my windowsill in the kitchen. The orchid currently is in its deflowering process, so all the flowers are falling off, ready for it to rebloom again later on in the year. And this is a painting that I did with the first watercolour palette that I had. It's a repaint. And here is some very old artwork. The artwork in these sketch pads is probably from my teenage years. I don't remember all of the pieces, but I do have a kind of sort of deja vu feeling, like I can feel something with them, like I know they're my like drawings and sketches, but I don't remember painting each and every one in detail. Some of them are kind of random and show the trends at the time, such as my favourite movies, such as The Incredibles, which is what this one is from. A lot of them are half finished and they're not very well done, as they are probably at least 10 years old, if not older. Some of them may be a little bit difficult to see, as I did sketch in pencil, which isn't showing up very well on camera at the minute. The Star Wars movies were also extremely popular and were released back then, the newer trilogy, so that shows how old this really is. We're talking probably 2003, 2004 sort of time, when the movies were very popular and in cinemas. This sketch here is one that had a bit of a funny feeling about it. Looking at it, I don't feel so disappointed with it. Like all my other ones, not that I feel disappointed, but I can clearly see there's some major faults. And with this one, I actually feel, looking at it now, quite proud of it still. Like, the colours are all over the place, yes, but the form isn't too bad. Like, it's not too badly drawn. The squirrel is quite well proportioned, maybe not compared to the building next to it, but it looks okay. I don't feel too weird about it. I drew quite a lot of animals back then, as I was really into my animals, as I still am currently. I'm a big animal lover. And this one here that you can see on the screen, I don't believe it's one of mine. It doesn't have any familiarity to me, and that's not my handwriting either. These were very cheap markers and bled through the page quite a lot. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed flicking through sort of my art folder and seeing some really old artworks that I did as a teen. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please make sure you leave a comment letting me know about the sound quality. It's really important to me, as it will help your viewing experience as well. And if you really enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.